Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and I appreciate you all being here as we're interrupting your potential happy hour time period. And I understand that that's probably what everybody is looking for about right now. So we'll try to make this as fun and as interesting as possible, and keep you, from enjoying your beverages in a little bit later. So thank you for joining me, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Happy to support you, Roland.
Yeah, anytime. And so thank you. We'd like to talk to you a little bit about the partnership that we have between Hitachi Vantara and AWS. We've been working very aggressively over the last year to promote and put onto the AWS platform a new software-defined storage offering that we're happy to not only announce, but we've actually incorporated a lot of new features and functionality. So for all of you that don't know who Hitachi Vantara is, you might have heard Hitachi overall, which is a very large multinational organization, and there's probably not many products that aren't made today that Hitachi is not the developer or manufacturer of. But Hitachi Vantara is specifically known within the technology world for our enterprise-grade storage. Now, our legacy has always been on the on-premises storage platforms that we have, but when you look at the type of platforms and the customer base that we have today, it is really looking at those high availability, mission critical applications. And Hitachi Vantara's platforms are known for the fault tolerance that we provide. So as you look at availability, sustainability, better levels of power consumption and control, that's why over 85% of companies in the Fortune 500 realm use Hitachi Vantara products in order to provide their data storage capabilities. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's it. But as we move forward with Hitachi Vantara, that's why working with a partner like AWS is so important. Whenever you're a premier storage provider to those type of customers that we have, the Fortune 500, it only makes sense to us to work with AWS, who is also the premier cloud provider in the industry.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're very happy to be working together with Hitachi, both by providing business solutions, focusing on market segments that really need a level of support, originally from on-prem, and moving into the cloud.
Exactly, yeah. As you think about the storage and the type of platforms that we offer a variety. Now, what you're going to hear today is mostly about block, but it's important to understand that our portfolio, Virtual Storage Platform 1, is an integrated offering across the board, across all data types, whether it be block, file, object, and more recently, how we're pushing that innovation and that technology endurance that we have acquired into the cloud, whether that's the public cloud or the creation of sovereign private clouds themselves. Now, all of this is based on a horizontal platform called SBOS, which is our basic operating system. And that's what makes this key and is a key differentiator for us, where we don't have a different offering, a different operating system that works in the cloud or on premises. To us, this is all contiguous. We have one platform that works across all. The benefit to our customers in this is that they don't have to relearn, don't have to retool against different types of platforms. Once you know Hitachi, that's all it needs for you to move seamlessly into the cloud at the same time. And another good point, it also provides you the same type of performance characteristics that you would expect on premises. We're now moving that into the cloud, whether it be for performance, the efficiency guarantees that we offer. We have a storage assurance platform that provides you a level set of a parity of what you would expect within your own data center, and now moving into the cloud itself. And that happens through a variety of the components that we provide as part of this service and platform, whether it's ClearSight, giving you that type of visibility that you need into the data, no matter what location it's at, working within the operational to maintain the health and welfare of your systems overall, or Everflex, which means different ways to utilize that storage to acquire the capabilities you need in different consumption methods as well. Now, we're providing that also in combination with AWS so that we can bring parity from what you would find on premises back into the cloud as well, and in opposite, working with AWS and all the great capabilities and some of the things you provide, how do we bring that back?
Yeah, so Roland, what you're telling me is you can be able to deploy VSP1 in regions, in local zones, and in outposts as well?
Exactly, yeah, that's the entire premise. And it doesn't matter if you're using Hitachi platforms themselves on a hardware basis, our software-defined storage will reside and can be deployed on other platforms at the same time.
That's great.
Now to dive a little bit more into this, I mean, we provided you a reference architecture, or at least to help visualize what we're talking about. Now, Hitachi Vantara is a hybrid cloud company. Our mission statement is to tie what you have today on premises with the cloud environment. And as I said earlier, we're trying to make parity about what you would find on premises and in cloud, and it doesn't matter if you're a born in a cloud organization as well. We're trying to make it a level playing field. And we've made success by doing that, particularly on AWS, by bringing all the benefits you would find in cloud, which we're bringing that back on premises, and vice versa. All the features, functionalities, we're moving that into the cloud. And we're doing that where you can actually take advantage of our software-defined storage from the marketplace within AWS right now, leveraging it through their management console, sitting on top of the Nitro platform that they have on the hypervisor layer, but it breaks down then, and it provides you that level of not only connectivity to create a true hybrid cloud environment, provides you the resiliency that you would typically find on premises, and now we're capitalizing on that size and scale within AWS, for our customers, and now moving that efficiency that typically customers want to expect on premises, we're moving that over into AWS as well.
I've encountered many application owners that want that kind of sophisticated storage, cloning, deduplication, compression, all those sophisticated things that they expect in an array, but on a cloud platform.
Yeah. So Ryan, when you're thinking of that, what do you think about from your customers, your conversations with customers?
Yeah.
Are they looking for that type of one look and feel?
Yeah, they want a consistency that integrates in with their enterprise applications and gives them a window into the applications of the future. So when I see customers, when I'm talking to them, they constantly ask us, tell us about your storage efficiency story. Tell us about where we can be able to integrate into our applications and be able to have greater control. That's where we can partner together.
I think so. It's about knocking down the walls between the two. It's not, am I on premises or am I in the cloud anymore?
Sure.
It's all one platform nowadays. And as we look at new workloads that are taking over, whether that be higher level of databases, the next level or mature databases that are taking more state right now, AI workloads, I think that separation is going to become costly. Eliminating those barriers about how you move data, how you use data and workloads, it's all going to come down to the total cost of ownership of those workloads and how do we make it more efficient for our customers.
Yeah, it's abusive to be able to copy so many similar data sets all over the place in order to have a proper pipeline of a modern business. Having it all in one is a really powerful thing.
Yeah, and we're trying to take advantage of all the AWS features and functionalities for that type of AI pipeline generation, but we got to get the data governance, the data storage capability down first. And that's where our architecture starts to take hold for our customers. So if you take a look at what's actually important for our customers, you start to think about certain topics, whether it's scalability, replication, performance. All of these type of characteristics are things that our customers, specifically those in those highly regulated industries, have come to rely upon. And the data is becoming more important each day. And as we try to move that into an integrated fashion with the cloud, such as AWS, I think we need to carry all of these over. Now, Ryan, I think natively, AWS takes care of a lot of these issues, right? But from your perspective, where do you see we provide benefit or an additional complementary type of performance?
I think sometimes customers might build something that's compute-centric, and they want something that is quite quick and now. And we've been able to support that, but when there comes to the level of sophistication that a lot of existing customers have become used to, they realize that they want that sophistication, and where do they go? Well, VSP1 starts to offer that. It's a great complement.
Yeah, very much so. At least we believe so. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and some of the customers that we've talked to right now that are starting to use this platform have found it very beneficial. Because once again, they don't have to relearn it.
No.
It's nothing new.
Yeah, that's actually a very powerful thing. In fact, users will demand an intelligent array, and for us, we can be able to provide that option with VSP1.
Yeah. And we don't have to look at different types of teams within the customers anymore. One that handles on-premises and one handles cloud. In many cases, we're talking, there's a divide internally within those organizations. So we're not only trying to solve the customer's business problems, but we're reducing their cost of ownership. We're helping simplify their IT organizations.
Absolutely. You know, actually, one interesting thing is when you are making the leap to the cloud and you've managed storage for so many years, there is probably a sense of anxiety and unfamiliarity. There'll be dragons. By being able to provide a mechanism that they already understand from on-prem into the cloud, it's very powerful and very comforting and reassuring, especially for the data stakeholders that care about governance, security, and being able to consolidate across multiple business units. It's quite a task. Already a big task on-prem, but if they can be reassured in the cloud with VSP1, it's a significant thing.
How about we dive into that a little bit, because I know that on the on-premises world that most of our customers are accustomed to, and they're starting this AI journey in many cases now.
Sure.
Now, this AI journey is going to be a very good combination of usage of what they can do in a cloud. How do they adopt new use cases to their traditional business? Now, having a on-premises cloud combination makes a lot more sense. Are you seeing that with your customers as well?
Oh, absolutely, because the data is coming from the edge, and there is some line of business that's already manipulating the data, but you want that core compute, that access to a data lake, the massive amount of GPUs. And so you need to combine both the traditional business as usual, but continually add those features on. That's where coming to the cloud really makes a lot of sense for organizations.
Yeah. Now I've been talking with a lot of customers in the recent weeks, specifically about their AI journey. And they're looking at a lot of the models that are currently being presented. I mean, some of the new advancements in AI were announced this week. And a lot of those models that AWS is producing, you're providing a lot of the platforms for that in order to do a lot of that model training. And then they got to incorporate or push the results of that modeling downstream into their on-premises world. Now, from our standpoint, we'd like to use our software-defined service into cloud as well to help with that model training. Are you seeing that kind of integration of how our customers are using that and pushing their models?
Oh, absolutely. You have customers that already have their data sets and they're choosing the best model that's appropriate. They're experimenting. They recognize that they would say, okay, we like our model, aggregated approach to the world. Let's have that actually interact with our data stores. Having those two things really close together, it's really important, and that's why people are deploying so much of their data in the cloud today, in AWS.
Yeah, and we've really adopted our software-defined storage to take advantage of some of these use cases, such as test dev. And what we've seen, you're almost reinventing test dev now for AI. It's not your traditional application development anymore. This is new. This is high speed. You need to have multiple lanes of performance working simultaneously. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the typical CI/CD pipeline, once you start adding in AI intelligence and being able to clone, duplicate, and potentially encounter data sprawl, being able to intelligently manage that that is power right in your hand.
Yeah. And that's where Hitachi Vantara actually takes over, because we're able to provide that levels, that multi-threading of CI/CD development that's required because of the performance that we provide. It allows those organizations the breadth, the scope, the scalability that they need in order to push those levels of performance. Now, we're not only looking at test, dev, for the AI world, we're looking at how do we support other applications as well. Because as we know, AI is very reactionary. It's meant to provide an answer. And that answer is only as good as the data that's being fed into the models to provide something.
Of course.
Yeah. Now, also when you're looking at other aspects, such as how do I migrate to the cloud and how do I do this? The data, as you said, is coming from the edge. So what's the typical use cases that you're finding that customers are asking for that you said all this data is coming from the edge? What's their challenge?
The challenge is being able to sort through, categorize, and be able to really separate the wheat from the chaff. So when you have a model that has thousands of inputs, how do you refine that and constrain the model? How do you creatively constrain that model and be able to feed that back into a report that's actionable? That's the key thing, is being able to understand, is this recommendation credible? And how do I know it's credible? By being able to go, okay, I'll take a look at it in multiple ways, be able to slice the data 3 different ways, and have the confidence to be able to say, yeah, AI can actually make my business better.
That's great. And once again, it all is about the data, right? How do I take this vague information that I'm getting from the edge, classify it, categorize it, validate it, and then make sure I can transition into useful data.
Yeah.
Right? Because as you said, there's a lot of chaff out there.
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
a lot of spam.
Yeah.
That we can run and get with that. Yeah. So when you're looking at our software-defined storage, I mean, one of the things that we like to offer our customers also is flexibility. And when the flexibility is not only the ability of how to use the data internally, the scale, the performance, and all the other characteristics that we think that makes this product fantastic, but as we're looking at the ability of our customers to consume this in different ways, we know that all of our customers are not created equal, right? We want to give them flexibility. We want to give them, bring your own license. You might already have it. We know we have a very large customer base, as I said. They can bring that license with it. We can port that over to AWS and use our software-defined storage. Or they could do some of the more traditional routes. I'm not going to drain the slide, but as we look at these options, I think, once again, it's about the customer. How do we help the customer become more efficient, reduce their cost at the same time?
Absolutely. I think that if you come from a perspective of being customer obsessed, they'll come to you and say, this is what I need to solve. We can solve it together.
Yeah. And I think that's really, when you're looking at Hitachi Vantara and a partnership that we have with AWS, I think it's about that customer support. Hitachi Vantara and our teams, we are radicals at supporting our customers. There's not one thing. We're not just the sell you a product, we go away and tell you good luck. No, we're always there for our customers. And that's what makes us successful, because we're about customer success. And I think, Ryan, over the last year that we've been talking and developing our new products and getting ready to take it to the market, I think customers have always been number one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in talking about use cases of how people actually use this thing, it's really meaningful, because we don't build things in isolation. We build things to actually solve problems. And that's why we're here together today.
It is. And I think we're going to be continuing that journey together as we release new features and functionalities, not only of our software-defined storage, but some of the other new and exciting things that we're going to be introducing and working together. Yeah. So the partnership that we have established with AWS, it's not only intact, it's growing, I think, substantially, but I think that really wraps around some of the fanatical support that we provide to our customers. So any last or closing words, Ryan, on our partnership between us?
I've really been excited by the honesty, the ability to exchange ideas between our engineering teams, and to really basically be able to say, hey, we're building something that's really interesting and new over here, so are we. Let's build the future together.
That's great, Ryan. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Roland.
Everybody, thank you very much. And if you'd like to talk, catch us right after.
Absolutely. Take care.
Come.
All right.